Okay, so here it is, folks. The airline tube into the drain is the trick. The false bottom, clear right now, with none of these little tabs on it or anything. I took them all off. Pump is running, about a little over half wide open. And as you can see in the chamber back here, this is kind of my gauge, the water level is staying below the acrylic piece that everything's dripping onto. And I've got decent flow across the screen. Now, if I crank the flow back, so I lower the flow, let's go about 50% there. Now what happens is the water level will drop, and it also starts sucking some air in just because it can. You'll hear it purge here in a second. Actually, it's pretty quiet. Very quiet, in fact. Let's crank it back a little bit more. There, you heard it. Okay. So now what's happening here is it gets air just enough, water level gets just low enough, and it starts to let the air through underneath the plate. It's going to do it in a second here, I think. Look at that. Well, it's just kind of balanced out. As you can see, plenty of flow down the screen. It's just not very even right now. The tube isn't exactly straight either. So it's still pretty quiet. Let's crank it down to the minimum. And that's going to lower the box down, and now there's a constant air bubble. You can see the bubble of air in there. So now it's, the drain is essentially open. Okay, now I'm going to crank it all the way up. And here's what you're going to see now. Because the tube is in there, the airline, it actually goes up above, and we are now purging out the emergency drain. Okay, and the water level is still rising. So this is the danger Will Robinson point. Because if it gets up to here, it's just going to start leaking out the box. But so far, we get up to about here on the window, and that's when it starts causing problems in your fish room. It does actually look like the level is oscillating a little bit up and down here. It's kind of at a holding point. But that's not what you want. You don't want the water submerging the screen like that. So let's crank it back about a little bit. Okay. Not much change there. And there, it's dropping a little bit. Alright, that was interesting. It's like it found a balance point. And we're dropping. And dropping. And now, the key is getting the water level in the pools and the ends below the water level of the acrylic sheet. Okay, now it's Now if I pull the airline out of here, I'll just show you what happens. This is really quiet, even with nothing on top. Something's going to be on top. And when I pull the airline out, if I can get it out without disturbing anything else. Yep, here it comes. Alright. Immediately you have purging. Surging and purging. Now this really does nothing for the screen, because the screen water level stays right where it is. It just makes noise. That's all it does. Okay. Bubbles in the sump. Essentially, you're going to be bubbles in your sump. So that was the trick. The airline does work.